Evening, afternoon. What's up, gang? We're going to be pouring up some skulls. Some rigid foam skulls is what we're going to be doing today, and probably a soft one as well. I had somebody in the comments that needed some help with something, so I'm going to show them how I make the difference between the soft and the silicone and the ABS skulls. So I'm going to, it's kind of what we're going to go over with today. Get you up here. Got a bug, got a bug. Does that make scare off? Oh, thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, I figure I'd just do lives. It just saves a little bit time. So I can do a 2-hour live video versus editing videos and stuff like that. I mean, it takes for freaking ever to do all that mess. But I'm sure I'll have videos coming out that I'll have to edit and stuff like that. Sometimes it gets kind of ugly. Nobody wants to hear me cussing and hollering and stuff, so just gotta be careful on some of the stuff I do. So what we're working with is foam at 3. This is Flex Foam 3. Now this is a rigid foam. Actually, this is a soft foam. I'm sorry. I used the wrong one. So we're going to do a soft foam first. So we're using Flex Foam 3, and this is the soft foam. So this is a 2-part B and a 1-part A. So that's what we're going to be working with first, since I already poured it up in the cup. So with this foam here, let me pour this down a little bit. So with this foam here, it's going to be soft, and I do not recommend any of this kind of chemicals inside of this ABS form. I've only used like Ultra Cal, Hydrocal, or Plaster of Paris in your ABS plastic forms, because it will stick or it won't look right. So just a little bit of food for thought on that. I got a couple different silicone molds. It's all the same silicone, but I'm going to show you. This is a silicone mold that I got from Nightmare Makers. And over time, they do break down. And this is, you can see where I try to patch the outside. So this is me pouring a soft foam in here. And this is after the silicone has broke down. So you can see all that foam is still stuck on that. And in this part here, the silicone has broke down, and anything you pour in there is going to get stuck in those. So keep that in mind. They do not last forever. but they are an essential part of making props. But I wanted to show you this real quick before we start on the other ones. And with the silicone molds, you don't have to spray any kind of release in them or anything like that. You can just pour up your stuff and go to town with it. All right, so this one here, these ones here is my silicone molds. Now you can make your own if you want to, and mine ain't as pretty as theirs, but you can make your own. And how I made my casting on the outside is with Ultra Cal and just bandages, like these bandages here. So I just soak these in Ultra Cal. Then, well, I just put them in the Ultra Cal, get it nice and wet, then drain the excess off of it. Then what you do is you do half of the silicone mold first. So I just put my bandage on here and I fold it over. So you want to do that first. Then then once that dries and sets up, you'll take some. I'm sponsored by Vaseline. You take a little bit of this, and you put probably maybe 3/4 of an inch of Vaseline around this seam. Then once you start doing your other side of your mold, it's not going to stick to that. So whenever you do that, try to make sure the other side does not go beyond what you put the Vaseline on. So these two molds I made 2 or 3 of them. There's another one I made. Yeah, I got one down here I made. This is the very first one I made. I'll show that to you. Okay, here's what I made of a leg bone. So what I did with this, I think I did a video on this. I had to cut this section out because the way it gripped, and if you put anything hard in there, you're not going to get that sucker out without breaking it. So I just took and cut this section out so I can pull that right out of the mold. The only thing the mold is for is to help hold the shape of what you're making, because if you're using expanding foam, it's going to expand and it could distort your silicone. So you don't want that. You don't want it distorted. But that's the only reason you put a hard coat on these. I think I've only made one freaking thing out of this leg bone. And this is another one I made. As you can tell, I haven't used it in a long time, but it's another skull mold. But I made this in, a year or so ago. We can pour it up if you want to. I can show you all that, but see, it's not perfect by all means. And it is a little bit thick. It's a little bit too thick for what I need it for. So you got to find that happy medium where it's not so thick, where you're able to peel it off the skull. You want to be able to peel it off the skull without a ton of force. Yeah, they just sit around for a while. So that's kind of that in a nutshell. And now I guess I'll just show you whenever you get the Nightmare Maker molds or make your own or however you want to do it. I'll show you all kind of the process and all that. Then plus this is going to go out to a customer. So we'll start on that. Let's see. So the first thing you want to do is always have some kind of rubber band or some kind of strap to go around your mold so you know it all stays together and don't expand and get all screwed up here. Let me get you down here. All right, so I'll just take a regular strap. You don't need a real strong strap, just a regular one will work. So we'll let's pour up a soft one here. We're gonna pour up a soft one since I already poured everything. If you can find the big fat rubber bands, that'd be perfect. Mine kind of broke. And like I said, this is nothing you have to heave ho down on. Just make it tight enough where it's not gonna, if it does expand, it's not gonna distort your silicone. Okay. Let's see what I need. Okay, this soft foam is a 2-to-1 mix ratio. Stir real good. Now you don't need no mold release or nothing in this in these silicone molds. And I usually take a little bit and move it around just to try to get it into all the nooks and crannies that you can. Now this stuff sets up fairly quick. So now you just set it down and let it expand. I don't know if you can see it or not. All right, so now we'll use rigid foam. And that is our foam 5. I can get it all together here. All right, so our next stuff is foam 5. Now you can get this from Bitty Mold Supply, and it is a 6-pound. Well, it's the same thing. I guess they're selling it now. Oh, wait a minute, this is the wrong one. Never mind, because I haven't bought it. Let me show you. I think I got a jug of that somewhere. Yes. So this is what's from Bitty Mold Supply. I got so much stuff laying everywhere. So this is the foam that Bitty Mold Supply sells. It's a 6-pound rigid foam. So you can use that. Now this is a 2-part. You'll have a part A and part B. And it is a 50-50 mix. So foam 5. Let's see what it's doing there. So this is the strap that goes around the 5-gallon bucket. I just use that to go around my molds here because I don't have no straps here. Now this top, like I said, this is one thing. It just holds everything together so it doesn't expand. You gotta get creative sometimes. Doggone mosquitoes, it's tearing me up again today. All right, so this is the foam at 5, 50-50. And this is the number 7 skull, and I'll show you that once we get it all poured out or pulled out and all that goody stuff. Now you have to work fairly quick with this, but you don't have to be like super quick. But you want to make sure you got a good mixture in there. And we'll pour this one in this one. Now, whatever you mix anything in, trash it because it's no good. You're not going to be able to use it anymore. Then I'll just take this one and pour it around in all the teeth and try to get it on all them crazy areas. Then we just set it up and let her expand. Hey Ross, what's going on, brother? Hey Berlina. Yeah, that's what I got, foam at 5. Hey, what's up, brother Tom? Hey, if you guys like old history and stuff like that, there's a group on YouTube that, man, I can't even think of it, Tim and Tammy. Go check out their channel if you like old history, old houses, land, graveyards, stuff like that. Check out Tim and Tammy. And check out Tim's World too. I mean, Tom's World. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, it really sucks, man. Hey, what's up, Nora? Yeah, go check out Tom's World. He's got a lot of stuff on there. He does a lot of RC cars and whatnot, and doodads. So thank Tom. Tom, put a link to your channel down there, man. I can't remember nothing. I'm just getting old and senile, I guess. So here we go. This is the soft foam. And like I said, this is the foam at 5. Foam at 5. And this is the foam at 5. I'm sorry. Foam at 3. Foam at 5. Foam at 5 is the rigid. The foam at 3 is the soft. And there's so much to keep a track of, and this is just it's just a 6-pound rigid foam. Then I've also got monster makers. Let me grab some of that. Maybe we'll mix some of that, and I can show you the monster makers ordeal stuff. So this is the monster maker. So it's really hard to keep up with everything. So you got foam at 5, rigid foam. You got the foam at 4, soft foam. I mean the foam at 3. I think that's what it is. Didn't I say it right? The foam at 3. Yeah, the foam at 3 is soft foam. Foam at 5 is the rigid foam. And this Monster Makers is a soft foam too, but it doesn't have a poundage on it. So you just got part A and part B. And like the rigid foam on this doesn't have a poundage on it, but if you buy it from Bitty Mold Supply, it's a 6 pound density. They got 6 pound, 4 pound. Now I think all of it has some kind of density to it, but you have to, whenever you order, if you order from the engineer guy, you have to specify what you're looking for. If you want a 4 or 5 or soft or rigid, it's kind of a pain in the butt. That's how it goes. So what I'll do is I'll wait till it's not sticky. You can see me. I'll wait till this is not sticky, then it's ready to pull out. Or we're going to hope it's ready to pull out. I just try to break it loose all the way around if I can. And I just roll it back on itself. So that's what I'm saying. You want to make sure if you make a silicone mold, you want to make sure it's thin enough to be able to move back, and not so thick it'd be hard to do. No need, just go easy on the nose and eyes, and you'll be fine. And there's your skull. That's the soft foam. It's the soft foam 5. So we'll set up here and let it dry out a little more. See if foam sticks to your silicone, it just, if I can get a hold of it, it just pops right off. Tom, you do a lot of exploring too, don't you? Don't you explore all over the place, brother? I am my service kind of sucking today. All right, so now we'll go ahead and do a rigid foam one of these. All right. So try to get over here where y'all can see me a little bit. Now I do like using this stuff. The only thing I have found if used a 6 pound rigid foam, if your mixture is off, a good bit, your skulls or whatever you do is going to shrink up on you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if your mixture is off and you pour it out, it's going to shrink up. Now you can use that to your advantage. We got a pretty cool little skull. Now we can silicone mold that sucker and make us a cool little pumpkin skull, a little gourd skull. But that's the result you're going to get if your mixture is off. I need a little bit more in this skull. Don't need much. The rest goes in this one. So if it doesn't fill all the way up, just put a little bit in it. Doesn't take much, and smother it around a little bit. It should be good to go on that. Same way with this. Now we'll just get it all in nooks and crannies without dumping it out, hopefully. Now it don't take long for these rigid foams to set up. They set up fairly quick. So I will do a Monster Maker's foam next, and I'll show you how that works. It is also a 2-part and a 1-part ordeal. And I never can get this stuff right. It's always been something different. We'll let these fill up and harden up, then we'll try this soft foam. Now this Monster Maker's expands 32 times. Now this might be good if you're doing small stuff, maybe a small skull. It might be okay for that, or smaller props that has that's got latex around it. So we'll just take a knife or something and cut the flashing off of this skull. I did eventually put a new blade in my knife. So then in the back, you kind of got a line in the back of these. You kind of know where to cut your skulls. Then I'll just go through and I'll trim all that up. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just like the look of it a little better. But yeah, guys, if you like history, all over Georgia and Alabama, Tim and Tammy, they go all over the place in video, man. They're always putting out content, some pretty cool, interesting stuff. Check out Tom's World. He's done a lot of exploring in some pretty creepy looking places. I do a lot of exploring. Well, I don't do a lot as much as I used to, but I do a little bit of exploring myself, and I just love that kind of stuff, seeing old different buildings falling down. Or I've got one that I was in an abandoned funeral home. Well, there it is, guys. There it is, cut out. Kind of see the side profile now a little bit, minus that little section there. It's soft. So that's good. I'll show you what we're going to be making soon. If you all want to watch, I will show you how to make some clown horns, and that ought to be fun. No, it's still tacky. This one's good. It's still a little tacky. Not really get by with it. Yeah, I'm pulling this out a little bit premature, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, just a little bit too soon. Okay, so if you're using your rigid foam and you pour it out too soon, I will show you what happens. That way, if anything occurs in the future and you're like, I don't know why that's doing that, I'm going to show you why it's doing it. I've done several of these, so I can pretty much tell you on most of the stuff why it's doing it. Not all of it, but sometimes, most of the time. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but you can see where it kind of stuck in the silicone. Now it doesn't really stick to silicone once it's hardened, but if you pull it out in its sticky stage, it will stick to your silicone. Not real bad, but it's enough to pull everything apart from this, if that makes sense. So we'll finish cutting this out. If you guys have if you come in here, you have a YouTube channel, by all means, or an Instagram or something you want to share, by all means, go for it. I don't mind at all. I do not mind at all. That's good enough for now. Just kind of showing you what it is. Okay. I have a feeling that this one might shrink up on us. I might have got the mixture just a little different on this one, but we'll see. That one's good and hard. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, this is much better, more better. Now you see, it's not stuck to the silicone. Like I said, when it's in the sticky stage, it will. But the only thing it does is messes up your skull. But once it's hardened to where it needs to be, it's not going to stick. And it won't pull your junk away from your skull. There we go. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's cracking and popping. As you can see the detail in it, it's pretty cool. So, nice and hard, that's what you're looking for. This one, it's nice and hard, but you can see the flex in it. And this is probably the one that's going to end up like this one. Just got a feeling. All right. So we'll stick her back in here and we'll make up a couple more. And this is the number 7. Now we'll make another rigid. A little bit too much. Alrighty, there's that. So now we'll use some monster makers, and I'll try to show you the difference in. I'll try to show you the difference in expansion rate and how thick it is compared to the other stuff. And with this, you don't need the big cups for it because the expansion rate on it is 35 pounds. So we're probably going to make a mess. I never did get it right. It's been a pain in the hind end to use. But I'm going to show you anyway. That. So on this Monster Maker's foam, you use 2-to-1, and we'll use the little cups on that. Now I've used the scale on this, and I've used the scale 100 freaking times, and I've never ever got it right. So if it gets right this time, it'll be the first time I ever get it right. And that's probably going to be too much, but we're going to try that. Now I do love the expansion rate on this. It expands pretty good. It just isn't. It's just not very good for what I'm looking for. It's not dense enough. Now this stuff here, you gotta work. You gotta work faster with this because it sets up quicker than the Foam 5 does. Okay. That'll set up pretty quick. So we're a little thin this one, so we need to add a little more to that. And I'll just guess this one. It's easy. Now we'll just finish filling this one up. Some of these are kind of hard to get. It's a hit and miss sometimes on getting your perfect mix in here. Get it perfectly mixed. Now that's going to be overexpansion, but it'll be fine. It's going to be way above. It'll be fine. We'll just cut it out. I mean, you can sit down, you can dial it all in to make it perfect. If you're going to set for a bunch of them, then that's what I would suggest. Each mold's going to be different because of how the shape of the mold, how big it is, with the jaw, without a jaw, and different stuff like that. Another thing about this Monster Maker's resin and stuff is that oh boy, it's really getting up there. Is that it is very sensitive to humidity and everything else. It's just mess to work with. All right, so we got too much on there. We don't want to get that on everything. We just want to get it on the silicone. That works. All right. For some reason that ain't expanding. So what I'm saying is it's different every time. That's why I do not like using that stuff. Kind of just stopped. Yep. It ain't doing nothing. That's it. It's weird. I don't know. Zoe. Z. Z. Come on over here, girl. Way too much. So the first mixture didn't do crap. It's just weird. It starts out good, like it wants to expand. Let's see what it does. Still a little sticky, so we'll wait till it sets up. Hey, what's up, brother John? We're making skulls today. Cut. Smooth. This one. And this stuff here, man, you do not have much time to play with it at all. So I think what I've been messing up on this is trying to swirl it around. Once you get it mixed up, put it in the mold and leave it. Don't touch it. Let it sit there. We'll see what that does. That one's setting up a little bit. Yeah, this stuff is junk. Should have only took a half a little cup, maybe, to fill up one of them molds, and it's not even wanting to set up properly. So we're gonna let that sit a while. Hopefully it sets up enough where we can take it out and trash it. This one should be ready to come out. So I'm saying if Monster Maker stuff is, if the foam is that hard, I don't know who buys it to fill their foams or fill their props with, but man, they've got to be very freaking talented on that shit to get it to work right, because it is a pain in the butt. And that's why I like the flex foams and stuff like that. It's just so much easier to deal with. The bitty mold supply stuff, I have had no problems with it either. So there we go. You hear it popping. I'll cut a little bit of the splashing off of this. That's what happens if you get the over spill on that. It will stick to it, so you gotta clean that off. I mean, you don't got to, but it just gets in your way. Yeah, I ain't did nothing but make a mess in that. So what I'm going to do is try to kind of react that is throw some hard foam in that and this a little bit just to try to kill a little bit of that off, man. That's horrible. That is horrible. So if you do get a sticky ordeal, take some rigid foam and stick in there, and hopefully that will adhere to all that stickiness in there and pull it out of your mold. Next foam 5. Need some of this. Before it sets up on me. So we'll pour this in there, try to get most of that crap out. Then we'll take and we will. Oops. If we got to pour up another one just to kind of get the crap out of it, then that'll clean the mold out. Hopefully. Worried about it expanding at this moment. I just want to get it cleaned out. So, if you're not a professional like me, don't use Monster Maker's foam. You'll regret it. You'll hate every minute of it. What's up, Patrick? Yeah, man, I love my skulls. John, I will not. I only like certain kind of skulls. Some of them are pretty cheesy looking, and I don't know. I'm kind of funny when it comes to the skulls. I like certain ones, but I do plan on buying a couple more, and I need another 7 and another 2, and whatever this one was. This is a number 2. This is a number 2 I had that's screwed up, so I need to buy another one of them. I like that. I like the 2, the 7, and this one is the number 5. So 7, 2, and 5, and my number 2 is screwed up. You know what? Let's it's already screwed up. Let's pour some rigid foam in that. Why not? Who cares? Let's see what we can get done there. Oops. Daisy. Slipper, dang it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to clean out the number 2 mold that has all the foam, the soft foam stuck in it. So we're going to attempt to clean that out. or we're going to get everything stuck and we're going to tear up that mold even more, which would be fine. It's not really worth much right at the moment way it is anyway. But if I clean all that mess out, I might try to go in and re-silicone that area. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe we'll try to fix it. It might not be a bad idea. And I'll kind of show you the silicone part of this crap. And we'll try to get all this soft foam out of here. See what happens. Ooh, boy, that's a mess in there, boy. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. So we'll try to fill that on up a little bit more. So this foam at 5 and 5 stuff, foam at 3, this flex foam stuff is a little bit more forgiving. It doesn't that other stuff, man. Just if you don't have it exact and the right temperature, the humidity, it just ain't gonna do nothing for you but make you mad. That's a little sticky. So we'll let this up a little more. Hopefully we can yank it out of there. Clean all that mess out of there. Oh, it might come out. Yeah, we'll let it set a few more minutes. Man, you ain't kidding, brother. That's a lot of money. For 1 gallon of this foam 5 stuff, the rigid foam from the engineer guy is $180 shipped. And they're only 2 hours from me. So it gets expensive. You can find it a little cheaper, 6 pound at Bitty Mold Supply for I think it's 94 bucks. And it'll probably cost you, 20 bucks to ship. So 110 bucks versus 180. So you can do the math on that, I believe. And that I can't remember how much the Monster Makers stuff was. I bought it a while back, and ever since I've had trouble with it, I just quit using it. It's not worth the hassle and time to keep dealing with. Even though, I got 3 gallons still sitting over there that I don't know what to do with. So it's a waste. Might try to pull that one out of there. I know this stuff is going to be nasty. Let's hope that it's not too sticky. Okay, so that's the Nightmare Maker's foam. It actually doesn't look too bad. It just didn't set up properly, and it's real spongy. And then I poured a hard foam on top of it to help get it out. But that's one of my pumpkin skulls I make. We'll set it to the side for now, and maybe we'll figure out what to do with it after a while. If it looks good. But you can see how the foam stuck inside of that. So now we'll just pour up some rigid foams in this and get that out of there. Or we will use, actually I need to make some soft foams for this. Yeah, I need to make some soft foams for that. So what I'm going to do with that pumpkin skull is I'm making these clown horns with the pumpkin skull. So I want to use soft foam on that if I can. You can use rigid if you want to, but so maybe that'll be in another video. I'll show you how to do that. Now this was just like a quick prototype, so it is just thrown on there because I wanted to make sure everything worked and how did it work and all that stuff. So it's just thrown together. And this is the back of it. You can see the wires hanging down and blah, blah, blah. Well, my next one I'm doing is I'm drilling a hole in the back of this and coming out the hole to all my leads just to kind of eliminate some of the wiring where it's not all hanging down and whatnot. But if y'all are interested in me showing you how to make these, I can point you in the right direction. All right, let's see what this one has to offer us right now. Let's hope it's like the last one. Oh, we might got a, yeah, see? No, I'm saying, I've always had problems out of that freaking stuff. And it's just a nightmare to work with. If you don't get it exactly perfect, the temperature's perfect, the wind temperature, I mean, it's just stupid. There you go. That's Monster Maker's foam. And it's just a freaking nightmare. It's just didn't set up at all. So that's the stuff you're going to run into. Unfortunately, if you guys get the wrong stuff and you're starting to play with it, that's where your money's going to go at, is trying to figure out what the hell is going wrong, what did you do wrong, and stuff like that. So fortunately, you have me to do it all, screw it up for you. And I'll show you how to kind of do it right and how to fix the problem as far as the mold. You know, the mold is nasty. It's all crappy. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up putting rigid foam in here, make a rigid foam skull, and all that rigid foam will adhere to most of that and pull it out of there. Or that's what I'm banking on. If not, then we're going to be cleaning it off with mineral spirits or something. So now we're going to pour up some rigid foam and try to clean that sucker out. I'm kind of glad that all this stuff is happening. That way you guys kind of can see it, because sometimes people whenever you tell them something and you're trying to explain it to them, they don't understand what you're talking about. So this way you see it firsthand. But yes, making your own stuff is a small fortune for sure. So keep that in mind. Now this rigid foam is a 50-50 mix. So if you guys saw the skeleton I sculpted with all the skulls in it, that's the same stuff. Once we silicone it, this is the same stuff that we will be pouring that silicone up with. Is this foam 5 or 6 pound foam or whatever it may be. I'm assuming foam 5 is same as like it's a 5 pound foam. I'm assuming. I don't know, but that's what I'm assuming. So once I get rid of all of this foam here, the 5 and the 3, I will be switching to a 4 pound foam from Bitty Mold Supply. Okay. See, that stuff didn't. I'm not trying to bash them. I'm sure they got some cool stuff. It's just my first time dealing with them. I spent all that money for nothing. So we do. So if you guys got any questions on any of this stuff, feel free to shoot it out. If I have a video of it, I can point you in the right spot or tell you what I did or try to get you to understand kind of what I did or didn't do and all that good stuff. When you do this stuff, guys, make sure you have enough cups and tongue depressors and stuff on hand. You will go through a lot, just like paintbrushes. You'll go through a ton of this stuff. So we'll clean this one out real good, then we'll put some good foam in it. So these are my pumpkin skulls here. I gotta send Lenny's stuff out to you next week. This should be ready to go. Let's see how hard this one's gonna be. Now this is that messed up skull. Remember me showing you that? Let's see if I can get her out of here and see how much trouble we're going to have or what are we going to tear up. Okay, so now we're getting to the bad spot on its head. Let's see what we got. Oh my goodness. Well, look at that. Not bad, not bad. We might have hope for it yet. But that's the messed up silicone mold. Huh. Okay, I ain't gonna complain. I'll take it. Okay, maybe pour this one, pull that one next. Pull this jack off and let it set for a minute to cool down. Man, things get super hot, so we'll let it sit there and cool down just a minute or two. I'm going to add a little bit more to this. We'll add a little bit more to that. Don't need much. All right. Alrighty. Try to get all the nasty shit out of there. We got most of it. We didn't get it all. We got most of it though. We get some alcohol and clean that off. So if you get it on there, guys, you can use alcohol or mineral spirit or something on this silicone to get, if you got any like stuff that didn't set up in there, you can use this to get it off your mold. But if you remember, this is the one that had all that sticky crap in it that didn't set up. So we used rigid foam to try to get as much out of it as we can. all nasty stuff off of there. All righty. Now it should be ready to use again. All right, let's pour up another skull. And guys, if you mess up your skulls, don't throw them away. Just throw them to the side. Give them a little bit of time to dry out if they do. Now, of course, if you got one like this one that most likely that stuff isn't going to dry out, I would definitely trash that. Yeah, that was just ooey and gooey. So I'd probably definitely trash that or pick all that crap out of there and maybe get a half a skull or something. Maybe his brains are blew out. And heck yeah, throw it up there. Then throw some freaking clean all the liquid out of it as you can. If it dries up, throw some some epoxy on it or resin. Then you have a blowed out skull. Then take and mold that. So I'm saying, don't ever throw it away unless it's just totally freaking trash. And try to make something out of it if you can. And you just never know. But we're going to take that skull and let it set for a few days and see if it dries up any and clean out any of the wet stuff out of it. Then we can take some resin and go over it, and then we can take and mold that. You'll have like a unique mold that'll be yours, a blowed out skull. And you see his bottom chin didn't turn out either. But never know. Just an idea. Just ideas. There's that one. I think this one's pretty much ready. Take it apart, see what we got. Oh yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Don't trash anything yet until give it a few days to dry out, see what it does. And if it's just too far gone, then by all means trash it. But if it's something that you can make something out of, then use it to your advantage. So this is one of the the silicone molds I made, and this is what I'm talking about when you make it too thick. It just makes it hard to get off of the mold, off of your silicone, because it's pretty thick. For some reason, I have this thing in my head, the bigger is better than all that crap. You know, the thicker the silicone, the better longer it'll last and all that goody stuff. But if you get it too thick, you're going to start ripping your silicone and it's not going to come out of the mold correctly, and it's just going to be a pain in the butt. And I think I use soft foam mostly in this one, just because I got it too thick. But we will get it. There we go. So that's one of the pumpkin skull molds I sculpted here a while back. Easy as a pie. There's the pumpkin skull. Just need to clean the bottom up. All right, so this one here I made specifically, the pumpkin skull is specifically for my clown horns. So that's why I made this particular skull. I wanted some kind of clown horn, but I wanted to be different than, just everybody else's. So I kind of wanted a skull, but I wanted the skull to be different. So that's where I made the skull into a pumpkin. So I made this one just for these clown horns. So this is just for these clown horns. That's what that's for. Okay, so there we go. Let's get us some soft foam over here, and we'll pour that up for our pumpkin skulls. It's part 3. It's part 5. It's rigid. It's part okay. It's what we want there. It's what we want here. All right. All right, so now our soft foam is 2 to 3, 1 ratio. So we need 2 parts of B and 1 part A for our soft foam. Let's see, I have any in that. Okay. Now I think this foam here has like a 15 times expansion rate. I think that's what they said it is. If you go by the expansion rate, that is. I said this flex foam is a lot more forgiving than that Monster Maker's foam. Or a little bit too much, but it'll be okay. All right, guys. So I've been working with some different colors, and this is going to be what it's not. I'm not going to use this color, but see how shiny it is compared. I tried some different other methods of making blood just to kind of see what it would look like. But you see, this one here is nice and shiny. This one and this one's pretty much the same thing. They're just different products. This is a total different product, and these two are different products. So you kind of get the idea. But this is going to be my newest product right here. Not yellow, but this color, or this shiny. Or that's what I'm hoping to anyway. Yeah, set up a little bit more. So can't cut that off of here. Hey, I think we salvaged it. We can use it somewhere. Tear that little chunk out. Get all that mess out of there. There we go. We tore up his mouth a little bit, but hey, we'll use it somewhere. We can use it, tear that thing off there. We can embed him in something and smash him around and make him into something. There's my other soft foam that it should have looked like. And of course, the one we busted up, still wet, mushy. I still think it looks kind of cool though. Whew, look at that one. There's a lot of foam in that one. The little tacker. Well, there you go, guys. There's kind of the gist of the mess ups you've seen that I did. Uh, the hard stuff that I did working with some of the materials, some of the do's and don'ts. If I confuse you, I apologize. Sometimes I confuse myself just because everything kind of looks the same, and you got to be careful you don't grab a foam at 3 and mix it with a foam at 5 and blah blah blah, all that stuff back and forth. But you kind of get the gist of it. Get yourself set up. If you're going to do soft foams, just do soft foams. If you're going to do hard foams, just do hard foams. That way it's not going to be so confusing. Hey, that one's ready to go. But with all that being said, man, I appreciate you hanging out with me today. And if this has taught you anything, whether to what to do or what not to do, that was the whole goal of it. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to let you all go and enjoy your weekend. And go make you some skulls. If you have any questions or anything, by all means, reach out and let me know if you're having a problem or something. I might have ran into the problem before, or I can try to help you troubleshoot the issue or whatever it may be. I don't mind trying to recreate something if you say, "Hey, man, this happened," I might have ran into it already because I've been making these skulls for a couple of years now, so it ain't too much that I haven't seen yet. I'm still learning some of these materials. Um, Get out of the eyeball here. So I'm still trying to learn some of these materials, and I'll pass my knowledge on to you about the materials that I've used. Oh man, she's stuck in the eyeball good. There we go. So if you guys need to know anything, hit me up. I can point you in the right direction about the foams, and I hope this helped you a little bit. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Keep it creepy.